Christopher Mader, the Meat and Potato Show. This is an Ambush Media production. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Meat and Potato Show. I am your host, Christopher Mader, and I am here with Republican congressional candidate for the 2nd District of Massachusetts, Dan Debrule. And Dan, I want to welcome you once again to the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Anytime, man. Now, so how are things going since the last time we spoke? I mean, how's the campaign progressing? Who's gotten on your side? I know you were talking about some people that are supporting you.
Well, word's getting out locally and nationally from our efforts, and just from the vibe that's out there. People are paying attention to what's happening. It's very important. Congress has a rating of 7%, 9%, so people are paying attention to what are the clogs in the system,
Sure.
and
Sure.
we're starting to be one of those to be viewed.
Excellent. The last time we spoke, you had mentioned about bringing people of Massachusetts, the constituents that you represent, bringing them, more closer to Capitol Hill, to you, getting them more involved in the process. And I want you to explain that a little more and try to, what initiatives have you started to get that rolling?
Well, that's a great question, and we're not used to that type of thought. But after 25 years of political activism, you learn real quick you can't do it yourself.
Exactly.
So you have to open it up to everybody, and part of the campaign, and part of my overall strategy is to always reach out to everybody. Mm-hmm. We're reaching out to all the leadership in position, councilmen, mayors, I mean, you name it.
You had said something about you have support from Catholic groups, GOP support. Who were some of the other people that you had mentioned before we went on here?
Well, I mean, you gain the national GOP support, the local Massachusetts GOP support, a lot of gun national organizations, and of course their locals. Once I speak to them, they'll come on. So it's really, you have to set yourself up as a candidate so you can be vetted and be seen, and let them know that there's somebody here that can move the ball forward for them and us.
So how is that funding going? I know we spoke about that again, but last week. But you said your target is what, $3 million, or is that what you have now, or what's?
Well, I wish, yeah, we have that right in the bank.
No, seriously, really? No, I don't think so.
It's written on paper that way. No, it's our budget. It's the way you do a business plan, and you look at all things in total and what's available and the resources. And Massachusetts has tremendous resources available, and projected $3 million is just the basis for my campaign.
Now, is that just a start, a seed money? Has anybody said to you, that's a good start, or do you actually think you can keep it in that line?
Well, with the help with the a national perspective of this, from my presidential runs and my campaign staff who helped presidential campaigns and things.
I remember you mentioned that last week. You have some real pros working for you.
Right, you have to let people know you're here. And local people are beat up. Their money's, they're just trying to survive. I know that. I have a family, a large family.
Sure.
People are just trying to survive. I'm blessed where I'm able to really get in front of the spear and get into politics and run for office. But a lot of people are just surviving, just trying to get to the next week. Mm-hmm.
How's your volunteer thing working on? Like, do you have interns? You get matched up? Do you have an office, a campaign office set up?
I have so many potential places I don't even know where to go yet. Worcester's offered me some great locations. Everywhere I go, I mean, I can't wait for it to all come together.
Talk to Brad.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a beautiful building.
He's got all these phones over here, so why not? Well, that was the thing. I remember the Carol Claros campaign. They had their phone banks downstairs. They have Scott Brown. They had all the phones set up, and I have a feeling the reason why they use that room downstairs is I think that's where the trunk line is, where they plug all the phones into. So you should.
Well,
send them a letter.
No, absolutely, and that's the big picture when we talk about $3 million budget. I know it's very important for me to keep that money local. Right. I know how important it is for grassroots activists, but listen, they have printing shops. You can be reimbursed for your mileage, so there's money that can be kept locally and help people, perpetuate their efforts. And that's my goal for the campaign.
Right.
Keep the money local, help everybody keep their fight. They can help us, the philosophy, other candidates.
Now, when you sent me the email here, let's see. You are, District Number 2 covers Franklin County, Hampden County, Hampshire County, Norfolk County, Worcester County, and of course Worcester County. Look at all the towns in there.
It's incredible.
And that's what, how many counties?
There's 63 cities and towns there.
And there's what, five counties? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can count.
Yeah. Now, each county represents a whole group of activists. Some of them are professional political people. I mean, these are all resources that are available to me in my campaign, and that we're capitalizing on.
Now, I'm just looking at some of these towns here. I mean, Deerfield, Mass, Greenfield, Mass. Some of these towns are kind of rural towns. Orange is out there. I'm looking at, maybe not New Salem or Montauk, but let's see, Belchertown, very rural. Pelham, Ware, very rural. Bellingham, not so much. And then you get into Worcester. Worcester is rather centralized, but Worcester County is split up, whereas in the northern area, and once you get outside Leominster and the Lunenburg area, now you're instantly in the Sterling and Winchendon area, so that's pretty rural out there. How are we going to get these people involved? Doing it in the cities, doing it in even like a town like, say, the size of Shrewsbury. I mean, it's considered a suburb, but it's a big town and it's got a lot of people here. Then you go out to a town like Sterling, or let's see, what's next to Sterling after that? Or even, let's take another one, like Paxton or Oakham. These are small towns with very few people living in them. How are we going to get these people activated? Great resource if you can see it. My experience from past runs at the state senate level, a lot of these smaller northern towns that you mentioned that are real rural, those are my stomping grounds. I campaign in those, and the way you reach into them is you meet people. You meet the established leadership. You meet established groups, either Lions clubs or Kiwanis. Yeah, you're going to be going to a lot of meetings and a lot of events. Yeah, like you said, Lions clubs, Tea Party meetings, city council meetings.
Right, and a lot of the things I find is that there's a lot of great people. And what my goal and the campaign's goal is a roundtable approach where we can all come up to it, we can all talk and be part of this process. This is a people's campaign.
Excellent.
It's not singular. We're here to represent everybody.
Where's your first? Do you have something already lined up? Like next on such and such a date, I'm showing up here at this event.
Well, thank God for the campaign staff and volunteers that keep me straight. There's so many potentials with this district that we're busy. I could be busy 24 hours a day, and literally with modern technology, I think the campaign is. So the best way to get in line with me is to get on my website, put an email there, and we'll keep you updated constantly, any which way you want. We're looking at sending out texts, any which way you can. We're a modern campaign. Anything can be done. Even if you need the old way with a stamp and letter, we're willing to.
That still works. You'll be surprised. Like I said, I remember I've sat up here a few times and letters, envelope stuffing, the whole 9 yards. You get that cramp going in your hand. So your website, DanDebruleForCongress.com and Dan@DanDebruleForCongress.com. That's your email.
Yes.
Okay, and DanDebruleForCongress.com. That is your site.
We have two of them. They're merging. One was for the quick press release, and the other one is.
Right. And I can put a link up when I upload this and I put it on Facebook and stuff. I'll get the link for that too. So you're basically going to trawl across the state. And I like what you said earlier, I'm going to leave no stone unturned. You're going to be a busy guy. You still work, don't you?
No, actually, I'm blessed to be retired right now.
Right. You worked 25 years as corrections officer. Now, is that what you retired from?
Yes, I retired from Massachusetts State Department of Corrections, 20 years of service.
And so you've got your pension and stuff like that. So you've actually got the time to
I do, and it shows you how vested I am into Massachusetts and to the district. I'm not here just to blow up, burn bridges. I know how the depth and everything is strings are attached. I know the importance of how you cut somebody off here and something go back up there. I know I'm invested here.
Sure. And you're right. People, it's tough. I don't know how people get away with, like, for instance, look at Black Friday. I mean, people are lining up. It's like, where are these people getting this money? How are these people doing this? It's because I'm working, my wife is working, and we're doing all right, but that's all we're doing is we're doing all right. Whereas a few years ago, before the housing crash, and inflation has a lot to do with it. Everything has gone up in price. But I remember a few years ago, my wife and I were actually thinking to ourselves, wow, things are starting to shape up. We're putting a little money away. Maybe we can think about doing this, that, or the other thing in a year or two. And then everything crashed. Everything happened. I was one of those unfortunate people that I lost my house in the crash too. I did what a lot of people did. I said, I've got invested equity. I think I'll fix up my house. So I went and did that, fixed up my house, and then boom, I ended up getting laid off. So
sorry to hear that.
Well, this is why I'm not ashamed of that. A lot of people say, "Oh, don't talk about that." Look, it happens to millions of people. But this is what I'm saying. It's now my wife and I are at a point where we're doing okay, but that's all we're doing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's a lot of families like that. You're blessed that you're able to. You've reached a certain point in your life where you've moved beyond that. But you've got to reach out to those people. You've got to try to say to them, this is how I plan on solving the problem.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, I'm one of those people. It sounds glamorous that I'm retired, but let me tell you the background.
I know, it's probably tough even for you too.
I was basically near the end of my career, and I got hurt on a line of injury while on duty.
Right.
From inmate violence. And those injuries were really severe. I'm blessed to bounce back from that. But during that time, you don't get paid, and the system kind of jerks you around. So I missed out on some payments on my mortgage, and that snowballed. And I literally lost my house that I built and designed with my own hands. So I know that feeling.
Oh. So there you go.
I know. And now we're finding out years after the fact that, the banks and these guys weren't acting legitimately, and there was help for you if you would have came. Well, you know what? That's a little too late now. A lot of people are hurt beyond belief.
Exactly.
So
they're mentally injured. Some people got physically injured from it. People got arrested.
Right. So we pare down our living standards and live within our means. Right. And I'm blessed with a beautiful wife and her support and help. And that's why we were able to be on the tip of the spear with not only just, not just motivation, but we're driven to make this work.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
We're from the people, and this is for the people campaign.
That is excellent. That's an excellent story. I've interviewed a lot of people over the years, especially when I was back at WCUW. There are some people that I met that it's like, oh, that was a good interview, that was fine. And a lot of it I realized that, it's typical political rhetoric, but, when somebody like you comes on and you just lay it out like that, I mean, that's a big plus. Don't be afraid to use that as you do in the campaign. When somebody says something like I just said to you, turn to them and say, I lost my house. I know what you're talking about.
You're right, and it's, you're
going to connect with people.
I've had, I've seen experience as a union representative for 18 years. I've saw firsthand, the detriment that not getting a paycheck can cause a family that's living by paycheck by paycheck. It goes deep. I mean, it sets people on the streets. I mean, they're hurting, but they don't understand that there are resources for them. That's part of my hope. I'm not here for doom and gloom. There's tremendous resources. I mean, we just met a couple that had a lot of farmland. They were too old to farm it, but we paired them with a construction guy who's down on construction but has the equipment. So they're talking about re-energizing the farm a little bit. So there's so many potentials out there. So we're really having a working campaign where every issue is thrown up there, and sometimes the issues get addressed and fixed as we campaign. So this is really a great opportunity for anybody that wants experience with a national, a large federal office campaign to come on board. we don't turn anybody away because of political belief. You just have to be a good person.
Yeah, and you have to be passionate about what you're doing, too.
Yeah.
Dan, thanks a lot.
No,
This
thank
is
you.
great. Excellent, excellent.
Thank you for your service.
So, what's next for you? What's next?
Well, like I said, the best way to get in touch and keep track with me, because we're rocketing all over the district here. We're going out of state. We're meeting everybody we can, and it's to come to dan4ma.com and sign up and find out. Give me a call.
Yeah, here's your number here, 978-751-3777. That's not your cell. That's what, your campaign office? What is that?
Basically, it's the way to man. That's a 24-hour phone number.
Oh,
So I man it. My staff man it. It's all the time.
Excellent.
Text it. I think it texts right to all of us. So that's an active number. We're an active campaign.
Dan, thanks again.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your afternoon.